That's what I get out of this gentleman, guys. He studies the game. So when he gets into something, he gets into something. He can predict when you're gonna die.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy Andre, man. Welcome back to another episode of Making Dollars and Cents with my guy Ron Cunningham. What's up, big dog? How you doing?
Hey, what's up, Dre? Welcome back, man.
Man, it's been a long week.
It seems like every 3 days I'm seeing you now.
Man, for real. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, hell with a week. It's more like 2 days, 3 days, and then we right back at it.
We running around. We trying to get it done, man, and we getting it done.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. How was your week, man?
It was good, man. It was good. Work, you know what I'm saying? Beverly Hills, making some connections. Oh
yeah, right? I heard you got back in Beverly Hills this week again.
Yeah, we're making some connections with some great people,
some high power people. Yeah, we went and visited Ryan Fox. She had a brokers open meeting this week and educated all of us on some of the new ways of getting out there and how to get back into the real estate groove. It's not about the what they call it the Zoom meetings anymore. It's about what they call it. I'm outside. That's everybody's thing. I'm outside.
Yeah.
So we back outside. We back out meeting. Yeah, it was a great meeting the other day. We met on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And she gave us some great pointers. What did you learn from that meeting, man? What did you get?
Man, a lot, man. Marketing is everything, right? And it just made me step my game all the way up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
I got cold calling. And
we got
door knocking.
we got a lot of work to do. A lot of work to do. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
But I'm excited about the guest we got today, right?
Oh, man, I got to tell you about this dude.
Long-time friend of yours.
Well, yeah, you know, him and I, we met at one of my seminars. I had a seminar back in June, and we were teaching people how to buy property out of the area, out in the Detroit area. And it was such a coincidence. This gentleman would happen to just be in the lobby of a hotel that I was doing a seminar in. I had about 50 guests. And I was giving them a little educational series on how to buy real estate in other states because they can't afford here. Most of my people can't afford here.
Yeah.
Because it starts at $1 million. Most people can't afford $1 million that I run into. Not saying everybody, but most of my clients cap off right about the $600,000 to $700,000 range.
Got it. Okay.
So we're starting to have side classes and teach people. Okay, if you can't afford here, what can you do? We can't just say lay down.
Yeah,
because people still buying real estate all over the place.
Yeah, you got
just not here in Cali, or not here locally. L.A., Long Beach, Compton, Paramount, Carson.
Yeah.
They're not buying locally. They might have to go out to like Mo Valley or Barstow or Victorville, some other areas. So we're trying to teach people. Okay, those areas are cool, but if you still don't want to spend $200,000 and $300,000. You might want to get in at a starter range of about $50,000. Detroit's a great town.
Okay.
That's what's behind us. That's his high rise. That's what we're pushing.
Yeah.
So I met this gentleman in the lobby area, and he had a crew. Now I'm doing a whole. I got 50, 60 people there, and staff, and we set up, and we in the rented rooms, and this cat is in the lobby teaching his crew, and his crew is sharp. They're on point. They know what they're talking about. They had a program in place.
Yeah.
And we just vibed from there, man. Somebody introduced me. One of the guys that came to my podcast, one of the guys that came to our seminar, one of my best friends, his name is Chris Griffith. He had just happened to meet these guys and say, man, you need to know this guy.
Yeah.
And I said, all right, man, I'm kind of busy. I got a few people here. Chris, I got about 50, 60 people already that have come and registered to come to my class and check me out. Who is this dude? He said, man, I don't care what you got going on. Come meet this guy. And he dragged me out of my own seminar to come meet him in the lobby. He's sitting around about 5 or 6 other cats. And they're going back and forth, and they're pretty much on the same page we were on, if not more advanced.
Okay.
So it impressed me. I'm like, oh, okay, y'all on the same page, same state, and we're at the same location the same night talking about the same thing.
No, it's destined.
So,
that's destined.
So I won't hold it off. I want to bring him up to the camera, man. This guy's a beautiful dude, man. Again, we met back in June. He's a heavy hitter. He's interested in going into the Detroit market real strong, and he has a plan behind himself.
That's right.
His name is Michael Evans, y'all. Please introduce Mike Evans with me. Big Mike.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, man? What's going on?
I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying?
Good to see you, Mike.
I'm hearing so many great things, man. Ron been telling me about you for a minute, man. I had the pleasure to meet you a couple weeks ago You know what I'm saying? And like Ron just be, hey, look, that's the guy right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when Ron say that's the guy, that's the guy. So,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I give it to Mike because he has more of a formula than I have. I mean, I understand where to go, and I just don't have it all detailed. Mike has a full plan, and him and I are putting my energy, his plan, my people, his people together. And I wanted to bring him on today just to educate you guys as well. So it's just about getting information out there. It's not, who's smarter than the next. It's just, can we work together? Can we get the information out there? And I had to bring him on today so you guys can hear him speak. So welcome, Mike.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here and tell you a little bit about myself and my company and the plans that we have for Detroit. I started in real estate back in 1997 when I was paid $15,000 to buy my first house in Palmdale.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
So someone actually paid me $15,000 to buy my first house, take over their mortgage, and it was an FHA assumable loan, which I didn't know anything about at that time, and so it was my first experience learning about creative financing. From there, when I bought my second house, I sold the first house, made $10,000 off of it. 5 years later, flipped it, bought the second house in 2002. And then in 2003, had an opportunity to buy a pre-construction home up in Palmdale, right? So now we're talking about $418,000, but I only had to put $3,000 down.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So, and what it allowed me to do was lock up the contract. Now, once I locked up the contract, I was just, okay, I'm gonna wait for them to finish building the home, and then in a few months, I'm gonna flip this, because while I was there looking at houses, a black realtor came up to me and said, Mike, they haven't finished building my home. I'm in the prior phase. I already have $100,000 worth of equity. Right? This is in 2002 when the market was starting to, rise up hyperbolically.
Hold on. Hold on. Hyperbolic.
New word alert.
You heard what he said. Hyperbolically.
Right.
New word alert. That's right. That means it's going up.
Yeah.
So a black realtor told me that he had bought in the prior phase, and they hadn't even closed on his house yet, and he already had $100,000 worth of equity.
Yeah.
And so it's 2002. The market was going up like crazy, and so I said I need to get in, and only had to put $3,000 down. So I took equity from my house, put $3,000 down, and this was a unique situation because they didn't close on my house for 18 months.
Wow. Equity, boy.
Okay?
Wow.
Because the builder realized that it was more advantageous for him not to build on any more lots, not to sell any more lots, because the prices were going up. And so he was hoping that those of us who had locked in at $3,000 would fall out.
But just walk.
So he'd give us our $3,000 back, and then he could sell those lots at a higher price. I already had a house. I was going to flip this one. I was like, you can keep it as long as you want. You know what I'm saying? And the houses were appreciating at $10,000 a month. That's what the lots were appreciating at.
Wow. In Palmdale?
Going up 10,000 a month.
Not Los Angeles.
$10,000 per month.
So imagine what LA was doing.
Right? This was 2002, 2003.
Similar
That's
to what we
crazy.
just saw happen just now.
Right.
That's crazy.
It was pretty much what we just saw.
Yeah.
So I learned everything I could about creative financing, and in September 2003, I closed on a $418,000 house with only $7,000 cash out of pocket.
Easy work.
100% financing, interest only, negative amortization, the whole nine yards.
Drop the bombs.
Right?
Need you to put that. Drop the bombs.
Gems.
Yeah.
Creative financing, guys. It does exist.
Right. So I wound up turning, and at the time when I closed, he started selling houses again. So now I knew exactly how much my house was worth. My house was worth $600,000 on the day I closed.
Oh my God! And what was your price?
$418,000.
So almost $200,000.
Correct. I turned a $7,000 cash investment into a $182,000 equity investment over an 18-month period.
And did not have to pay a note, mind you, those 18 months.
No, not at all. And this is the thing, right?
That makes it sweet.
When we don't understand how the game is played,
Yeah.
we can't play
Exactly.
well if we play at all.
Say that one more time.
if we don't know how the game is played, we can't play well if we can play at all.
Exactly.
Just gotta know the rules.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so going through this process, I was like, is this a unicorn or can I do this again? Because my background is in building systems for the government. So I told two of my friends, yo, this is now 2004. If you got $10,000, a FICO score is 640, I'll double your money in 6 months.
Easy work.
Oh, you got big time.
Easy
All
work.
right.
You start going to the homies.
So I went in and we found some houses now in Lancaster, $300,000, 3,000 square foot houses, $3,000 down. They built these in 4 months. I had one friend, very conservative. So we wound up closing a total of $10,000 was all he had to do in order to close. Because back then, you know, they were handing out money like it was candy to anybody, right?
Yeah.
As soon as he closed, he put a for sale by owner sign in the front yard. And within a week, he was in escrow, closed within 30 days. He turned his $10,000 investment into $25,000
Not bad.
in 4 months.
Not bad.
All right. Now, my other friend, he was like, Mike, I don't want to sell my house yet. It's still going up in value.
Yeah.
I said, well, you're going to have carrying costs. You got to pay that note now. So he held on it for an extra 2 months. So now he's in it for $15,000 because the note was $2,500 a month. But he wound up turning his $15,000 into $50,000 in 6 months.
Because he waited.
Right. So now I've got a system.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And I call it the pre-construction flip. Because these were pre-construction houses, and from a risk management perspective, the most money that you could lose was your earnest deposit.
Which was normally what, between $1,500 and $3,000.
Correct.
Not a bad gamble, man. Not a bad
real.
gamble for the return. I mean, you could lose $1,500 running down to the mall nowadays.
Amen. And so that was my foray into real estate, creative financing. But more formally, I've got a degree in economics from Loyola Marymount University with a focus on econometrics. I was trained to be an actuary, go to work for an insurance company doing risk management, or go to work for a casino and be an odds maker.
So let me ask you this question, just so the public knows, what is a job of an actuary?
So an actuary is a number cruncher.
Okay.
You're looking at building mathematical models to try to predict an outcome.
Like a person's death?
Yes, right. So again, odds maker. That's what an actuary is.
And you said it was for an insurance company,
Right. So
like a
most
life insurance company?
That's right. So I would have been the guy go to work for an insurance company to determine what the rates are based on the odds of people dying.
Wow. So he's like a people appraiser. The reason I'm asking is I want you guys to know, I know what an actuary is.
Yeah.
I used to sell policies too from time to time, and everyone that you sell policies on, you have to have an actuary report. Hire a guy like this. Let's say a guy's 80 years old, he smokes, he drinks, he gambles, and he drives fast. Has 3 sports cars and got a $10 million insurance policy. But he needs to use some of the money to pay off debts right now while he's alive. We hire a guy like you, find out what his odds are. If his odds are high that he's going to pass away within the next 12 months, we would take over and pay some of his premium to get to get into his policy. And of course, finally, when he takes enough drinks and drives and hits that tree, like the actuary predicts he's going to do, you get paid out the $10 million policy. Now, how much it may cost each policy was different, but you can buy a policy based on a person's will to live. Or now, you wouldn't want to buy an actuary. You wouldn't want to buy a person's policy who's a vegan, doesn't leave it, and go out the house anytime.
Yeah.
Because that person may live to be 120.
Yeah.
Correct.
But so I get what you're saying. So it's a very interesting job, man. I don't think I've ever met an actuary.
So I was trained to be an actuary.
Okay.
I didn't become an actuary.
Oh, okay.
What I did is I spent my first 10 years in operations management, mainly working for the government.
Okay.
I've been in charge of solid waste and recycling operations for a small city in LA. I've been a street maintenance superintendent, managing 400 miles worth of roads and sidewalks and stuff like that. I've also been an intermodal manager for Union Pacific Railroad at the largest terminal in the United States, Long Beach, LA.
That's right.
Right? So I did that for the first 10 years.
Man, I think that's so dope that you can forecast markets. You know what I'm saying? On 2002 through 2004 or 5, you know what I'm saying, 7, 8 crash. Because you can forecast markets, and I want y'all to understand that's super important to be able to link with somebody that can do that. So, I mean, what do you see now? We in 2020, you know, going into 2023. What do you see for real estate?
So here's the thing about real estate, right? Real estate markets are geographically specific. So what happens in the California market is going to be totally different than what happens in Texas, than what happens in Michigan. So that's the very first thing is, you know, when people make a broad statement, oh, the market is slowing down, you got to ask which market, right? Because again, it may be slowing down here in California, but if you go into certain parts of Texas, it may not be slowing down. But even within Texas, you have submarkets, right? And in the market of Detroit, for example, in the specific zip codes and neighborhoods that we're in, it ain't missing a beat.
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
Everybody got their opinion of like, oh, the market's slowing down, it's gonna crash, this and that. But like we always say, get with the mentors, get with the experts that understand how to read markets. You know what I'm saying? Because that's super important. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, it can be slowing down in California or it can be slowing down in Arizona, Vegas, but in Texas it's still going. So how would you, you know, and I know you went to school for this, and it's not as easy, but how would you, you know, what's like I guess a layman terms way where somebody can kind of read the market and kind of understand, or is it, you know?
So this is where data analysis comes into play, right? And we're in the age of technology now where there's so much data. Maybe the question is who has the best models, forecasting models. And so, you know, what I was basically taught in school is when you're building a forecasting model, you're trying to use as much data, historical data as possible in order to forecast the shortest time period as possible in order to have the most accurate model. And then you have to understand what variables, just because variables correlate doesn't mean that one causes the other. Right? So you have to understand the relationship between variables, and you got to see what are leading variables versus what are leading indicators versus trailing indicators. So, and if you really want to learn that, go to school, get an economics degree.
There you have it.
Or you contact Mike. Mike, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you, man?
So the best way to get in contact with me is through my website for my consulting company, which is called Help Keep My Money. You go to helpkeepmymoney.com. You can also reach me via email at helpkeepmymoney@gmail.com.
Okay, that's a good line into you, man. That's a good line into you. I have a question. You had spoke to me before about doing some trips to Detroit and putting groups together. When can we start seeing you facilitate, you know, maybe another meeting or something of that nature? Like when can we expect maybe for all of us to get together and maybe us do a class or do some type of seminar, and we can kind of teach, you know, I can gather a few, you can gather a few, we can kind of teach some people. Maybe we'll do a webinar or something where people can tune in. I like you guys to hit the like and subscribe down below and let us know if that's something you'd be interested in. Put it in the comments. Mike has so many things he could drop. It's just too short a time. We got 30 minutes here. This dude's a genius. He's an analysis. He's a studier of the game. So many things we need to really ask him and find out about, especially when it comes to out-of-state, you know, investing. I want to have you come back on, man. So I want to make sure that people are able to see you again, and actually I want to get some comments. So please leave comments, leave questions, and let's start hitting Mike up. Let's use this man for his knowledge. I mean, look how close he is. He's this close. I can elbow. I can touch this dude. He can educate even me, and I've been in the business 25 years. You're never too old to learn. He can educate me on how to look at a market and figure out where it may be going and forecast where it may be going in the next 5-10 years. That's very useful, especially when you're putting your money somewhere. You know, so we're gonna get back to you guys, I guess, with a few dates. I'll talk to Mike off camera, and see what dates work for him. But I want you guys to subscribe, hit the link below, hit like, let us know you're interested in this stuff. First of all, if y'all not interested, then hey, we wasting our time. But those who are, click the link below, subscribe, like this podcast, we'll come back to you and get with you with further dates, and we're gonna do a real serious class, man, because this is education.
So I can tell you real quickly that we're going to be rolling out what we call a proof of concept for a new investment strategy called a flip and hold strategy. We're going to be doing that next month through my real estate company, the BNIC Network. Okay. Right, and that company has created a new type of legal structure. It's called a closed private crowdfunding network. It allows like-minded people to practice cooperative group economics on steroids with little, if any, oversight by the SEC.
Yeah, I ain't trying to be like Trump, man. I don't want nobody knocking at my door, man. You know,
right? But
you talking some Trump stuff right now.
No. So what we are talking is about using the laws in order for Black people to practice cooperative group economics, so that we can help rebuild Detroit specifically.
Right.
And so and through this strategy, for example, in Detroit, we'll be able to go in and purchase a property for the acquisition and rehab cost of $40,000, and it's going to wind up being able to rent for $800 a month.
Wow, what a return on $40,000! How many of y'all got $40,000 in the bank? Raise your hand. Mm-hmm. Probably about half of you, 40 to 30, especially after the PPPs and passed by. How many of y'all are making $800 in interest off that money?
Exactly.
That's the question you want to ask. How much money does your money make sitting in the bank? That's what this is about. You take the money that you do have, you invest it into said property, be it Detroit, be it wherever you can get the return on, and see what you can get back. It's called an ROI. Again, what does ROI mean?
Return on investment.
Mm-hmm. So you want to be able to get a return of investment. And that's exactly what we're studying here today, guys. We're studying how to use a little bit we have. Most of us got 40, 50 grand laying around at this point, especially after the pandemic and the loans again, SPV, I mean, all the ones that didn't go out and get Ferraris and Porsches and the big cars. Most of us were able to keep some of that money that we just received recently. And if you don't have it, you go to Andre, you learn how to get your credit together, get you a line of credit for 40 or 50,000. Then you get in touch with this gentleman here, and he'll teach you where to put it to make an $800 a month return on the money you borrow.
Exactly.
You know, you may owe $200, $300 on a $40,000 loan, and get an $800 return on it each month, which might be net of $500 or so.
Exactly.
So you want to just learn how to make money on other people's money. And that's what this whole thing's about. Just teaching you how to move it around, because you don't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
Now those numbers sound small now, but as you get older, if you can get you an extra 8, an extra 1,000, and you can use someone else's money and duplicate that process, this now then will make sense.
Exactly.
So sorry to cut you off, brother, but I'm trying to teach the public how to use other people's money and what to do with it once they get it.
And one of the important aspects of it is, again, the crowdfunding aspect. So the average Black person ain't got $40,000, right? The average Black person would be lucky if they've got $1,000. So what we do is we allow it through this closed private crowdfunding network, which is a parent investment club that establishes an unlimited number of series investment clubs. It allows people to join these investment clubs with no cost and as little investment as $120 a year.
Annually. Wow, that's
period.
Yeah.
Right? And so,
That's good.
but you're able to get the ROI of those that are investing millions of dollars.
Okay.
Yeah. And to what both of them are saying, right? It's not always about, and I always say this, it's not always about going to necessarily make your money, trading your time for money, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like you can go access money, being creative, access money and take that money and let that money make money. So if you can access, for example, if you can access $50,000 and on that $50,000 you know that you have to pay back $500 a month, but you can but you know that you can make more than $500 a month. That's a good situation. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want our culture to do is understand how to access money, take the money and make that money make you more money. You know what I'm saying? Because that's when you really start winning. You know what I'm saying? We can sit here and work all day long. That's what we taught. That's what schools teach us, right?
Yeah, this is on top of working. I mean? And we're not telling you to quit your day job. It's just while you're working, have your soldiers working for you as well.
Exactly.
That's all. Be smarter. That's what the folks do that got the bread. You know, they work their money while they got money in place.
Yeah, and it's seeking those mentors, right? He just said he has a whole platform where you can come in and he can do it for you, teach you how to do it, or do it for you. You know what I'm saying? So when you really think about it, you take a person that's making money or that know how to access money, or decide, hey, I like what they're talking about. I want to get my credit in position. Or I even want to do the crowdfund. Now you done got yourself in position, took some money, got it with him. Now your money is making money.
Right.
And you didn't even really put nothing up out of your own pocket.
Right.
That's a win-win. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of this stuff is about, is teaching people really that's possible.
Yeah.
Because in our culture, we don't believe that that's possible. Because, you know, we talk for so long. Look, you got to go to work. You got to, you know what I'm saying, go to 4-year college. You have to go and trade time for money. But learn how to access money. Learn how to take that money, get it with people that's actually moving it around for you, or teaching you how to move it. You know what I'm saying? And make it more simple for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So what I would like to end with is, from an economics perspective, 2 important financial principles that we are not taught in school.
Okay.
Right. The first is compound interest. This is where you allow your money to make money, and more money. Compounding interest. Someone said that Albert Einstein said that compound interest was the 8th wonder of the world. What's more important even than compound interest is leverage. Right? So I gave you the example of where I turned a $7,000 cash investment into $182,000 in 18 months.
Wow.
All leverage.
Wow.
And so when you take leverage with compounding and you manage and shift the risk, that's where you make exponential returns.
That's right.
And so that's what they don't teach us. I've got the experience doing that. I also have experience managing $100 million operations. So my forte is putting together complex operational and financial systems. And so this is what we're doing in Detroit, and working with other black companies like these 2 in order to recycle the black dollar and rebuild the black community, and helping us survive America while black.
Wow. Man, that's tough.
Y'all see it, man. There we have it again.
Man.
Another episode down, man.
Gems.
Y'all get it, man. I mean, I ain't really got to say too much.
Pin
You know
drop.
what I'm saying? He said it. Look, he said it, man. Look,
Pin
it's
drop.
another episode again of Making Dollars and Cents.
Yeah.
Your boy Andre Ron Cunningham.
Yeah.
And remember, I'll get you qualified for the loan when you're ready.
Hey, and I'll close your loan. Y'all know who I am. I'm the closer. Thank you for holding and closing out, man. I appreciate you coming too, man.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Almost
Mike.
definitely. And I'm looking forward to coming back.
Yeah, we're going to
let's
invite
do
you
it.
back. We're going to
Let's
see
do
how
it.
many comments. You guys remember to subscribe, hit the like button below, and let us know what kind of comments or questions you may have. We'll get them to Mike, and we'll have them come back on and answer these questions. But this is the way to make money while you're at work. And until you're able to, retire or quit the job, this is the way to make money with other people's money. And these are some gems that we're dropping on you. Listen to what we're saying. You don't have to go and be the smartest guy, in the room. You don't have to be the richest person. You don't have to have the best credit. Just understand the system. Jump in, get with Dre, get your credit right. Get with this gentleman, get into the game. Then you come to me for the big loan when it's time to get the house, whatever it may be. But get involved. Get in the game. Start asking questions. Subscribe. Hit like. Ask questions in the comments. Let's get back to you so we can start having a little bit of a dialogue and understand what your needs are. We want to help you. Detroit right now is on the map, y'all. Don't go to sleep. Get what we're saying. Peace.